Geronimo Stilton. The name of this book is The Hour of Magic. The main character is Geronimo Stilton. He is the publisher of the Rodden's Gazette, the most famous newspaper on Mouse Island. The other important characters are Scribblehopper, Little Princess Buzzy, Queenie, Solitaire, Dragon of Time, Hee-Haw, Queen Blossom. So now let's start! Chapter 1. Sniff, Sniff. That morning when I stuck my snout out the window of my office, I noticed that the air had a special smell. It smelled like it was about the time to snow. Oh, how I love snow winters in New Mouse City. My home sweet home. Oops, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Geronimo Stilton. I have brown fur and glasses, and I'm the publisher of the Rodden's Gazette, the most famous newspaper on Mouse Island. Anyway, as I was saying, that day in New Mouse City, could tell snow was on the way. I was so excited. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of freezing weather or heavy-duty shoveling. But have you ever seen the city under a blanket of snow? Let me tell you, there's nothing more beautiful than it is. Plus, when it snows, I love to go for sledding with my dear nephew Benjamin and warm my paws with a cup of hot cheese by the fire. I was still dreaming for the cheese when the phone rang. Ring! It was my grandfather William Shortpose, who boomed, "Grandson, have you finished writing the book?" When I didn't respond immediately, grandfather shrieked, "Have you forgotten? You need to write the new Kingdom of Fantasy book. It's due next week." I hit my forehead with my paw. Rats! How had I forgotten? Of course I couldn't tell my ragging grandfather this. So I said, "Don't worry, grandfather. I already have the whole book in my head. Sort of. And lots of good ideas." What my grandfather doesn't understand is that in order to write about the Kingdom of Fantasy, I have to go there on a recent trip. Queen Blossom gave me a special sapphire ring that would let me visit whenever I wanted. Unfortunately, I had misplaced it. The only other way to get back is by dreaming. Remember that this is the most important book of the year, and readers are waiting impatiently. Do you understand, grandson? Grandfather William went on. Then, before I could hang on, he added, "Oh, and by the way, we're all coming to your house tonight to celebrate Aunt Sweetfur's birthday. Understand?" I hurried to squeak, "Of course, certainly." Worry not about the birthday, but about the book I had forgotten to write. I left my office and headed home. I hoped taking a walk would fill me with ideas. But my mind was blank. As I walked, I noticed the most delicious aromas. First, I passed by Squeakiness, my favorite bakery in the city, and smelled their warm cheese donuts. Yum! I brought a box to serve that evening for Aunt Sweetfur's birthday. Naturally, I had to taste a donut to make sure they were fresh. Okay, I confess, I have no willpower when it comes to cheese donuts. Next, at Tables for Tales, a popular cafe, I smelled a tangy blue cheese, quiche. I bought a gigantic piece to serve for Aunt Sweetfur's birthday dinner. Finally, in Singing Stone Square, I bought a beautiful flowering pink plant from Geraldine Green Whiskers, the florist. Aunt Sweetfur loves flowers. It was the perfect gift. Now, if only I could come up with the perfect idea for my book. I'll help you, Geronimo. I got home just in time to greet my guest. The first to arrive was Grandfather Willem. He is a stickler for being on time. Then my sister Thea rode up on her motorcycle. Thea and I are opposites. She's a dread evil and I'm a scary mouse. Next came my cousin Trap, who loves to tease me, followed by my dear nephew Benjamin. While he waited for Aunt Sweet Fur, we began to decorate the house with balloons and streamers. Benjamin had made a purple banner, Aunt Sweet Fur's favorite color, that read, "Happy birthday, Aunt Sweet Fur." I grabbed a ladder so I could hang it over the fireplace, but as I climbed the ladder began to wobble. "I'll help you, mister," my cousin volunteered, gripping the ladder. I gulped. The last time Trap volunteered to help me, I ended up in the emergency room with a cheese grater stuck in my fur. But that's another story. "Are you sure?" I stammered nervously. "Don't you trust me?" Trap retorted. After I could answer, he began to sneeze. Choo! As he leaned on the ladder, he fell and tumbled on the ground. Landed on my tail. Ouch! Oh, when would I learn to trust my instincts, not my cousin? "Are you okay, uncle?" my nephew squeaked, running over. I checked for broken bones. "I'm fine," I assured Benjamin, standing up. It was then though that I realized I had broken something. My watch! Rats! I loved my watch. It was a gift from my grandfather when I took over the Residence Gazette. Tears sprang to my eyes, but grandfather put a paw on my back and said, "Get a grip, grandson. It's not the end of the world. I know how can you fix that watch. Bring it to my famous watchmaker friend, Minute Mouse. You'll find him at his shop. Time flies. He repairs and sells clocks. I think you'll find the place very unusual." I was just about to ask him what meant by unusual when the doorbell rang. Aunt Sweet Fur had arrived. "Happy birthday, Aunt Sweet Fur!" we shouted. The party was a big success. Aunt Sweet Fur gave us all big hugs in appreciation. We had a Fabby Mouse dinner. My quiche was a hit. And delicious strawberry cheesecake for the dessert. Yum! Time flies. As soon as I left work the next day, I decided to go find Time Flies, the clock shop my grandfather Willem told me about. I took the subway and got off in the western end of the city. From what grandfather had told me, the shop was located at the Alley of Lost Time, in the oldest part of the town. I couldn't find the street listed on my map, so I hailed a taxi. But the taxi didn't know about the street either. Eventually, I had him drop me in front of the Remembrance Square. I wandered along the Memories Road, which led into the useless Regret Avenue, until I realized I was completely lost. I went into the deli to ask for directions, but the mouse behind the counter just blinked. "A clock shop of the Alley of Lost Time? It's the way or that way," he mumbled. I continued on asking everyone. I passed it for directions, mice on skateboards, construction mice, business mice, but everyone said same thing. Never heard of it. I had about to give up when I spotted an elderly lady. "Time flies?" she asked incredulously. "The clock shop on the Alley of Lost Time? Who gave you this address, young mouse?" "My grandfather gave it to me," I explained. "Your grandfather? Now I understand. Once upon a time that shop was famous, but almost no one remembers it anymore." She said with a faraway expression on her face. "No one remembers the corner cheese store where you can buy cheddar bread for a penny, or candy store with the most delicious blue cheese fudge for a nickel?" He rambled on and on. when she finally pointed me in the direction of the clock shop. I thanked her for the help and continued on my way. After a few minutes, I saw the alley in front of me. But then a bus roared by, and when I looked up, the alley was gone, had disappeared. Huh? Were my eyes playing trick on me?